Hi, Pisces. Hi, I'm alive. I have bangs now. How do I feel about them? The vibes we're giving today are disco, Little House on the Prairie. Word of advice. If you ever do work with Apollo really likes to play dress up, and you have to give him boundaries. And if he tells you, we should get some scissors for you to keep here, and then we can just play around with your hair whenever you're kind of bored with it or you don't like it, and you say, okay, sure. You end up with bangs. He's like the older sister / older brother I never had. I love that about him. I really love Apollo. They should stop talking about it. I really do love Apollo very much. So I really like the way that he's very, I have to start over. He's very masculine, and a lot of his myth involves him like kind of throwing these like fits and killing a lot of people. But he's also like, he really likes to play dress up. He's just a very, Mercury does too. Mercury does like to, Mercury's very into fashion. It's funny. I like the boys that are more feminine because they're fun. Because sometimes with goddesses, a lot of the goddesses that work with love, a lot of them are kind of known for being very vain, and that they won't let you like be more attractive than them. They will help you be attractive, but if they're jealous. So they're not really going to like, big sister, let's give you a makeover like Apollo would. Although if Apollo starts demanding a trip to the beauty store, you have to put your foot down. He says, don't tell them what to do. Okay, it's been a while. I hope everyone's well. I don't feel like talking to you about anything right now. I'm so excited to be here. Let's not dilly-dally. Pisces, you're always doing this. I'm just kidding. Hi. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. I hope everyone is thriving in life, and I hope that you don't bring me bullshit today, Pisces, because let's be real. My last few videos, I was not in the best of spirits. So let's start off strong. Already, I see for some of you, Pan is here, also Apollo. They want you to acknowledge them, or they're going to wreck your life. They're going to bring chaos into your life. For some of you, you have been seeing Pan. You've been feeling called to him. For some of you, you're being called to Gabriel. Specifically, they are letting you know that if you do not do what they are telling you to do, that they are going to bring chaos into your life. That's not a threat. That's not a threat, and it's nothing to be afraid of, but I'm just letting you know, if they tell you, hey, let's get some bangs, and you say, I don't really want bangs. I can't see myself with bangs. I don't think I'd like them. You're gonna get bangs. That's how they feel. But they feel like you would be better for it. So maybe these are the bangs to your transformation. You know, when I think about who is seen as a true authority in the academic world and the occult world, it is women with bangs. So I'm among them now, you know? I've gone full weird hippie Star Galactica. I don't know what I'm doing today. You can ask Apollo if you're really that interested in what inspired the look. He would be happy to tell you. He really wanted to be here. He wanted to do the look, and he wanted to be here because he's right here. This isn't his normal altar. He doesn't want you to see him because he doesn't have any clothes on. He's feeling kind of shy today. He wanted the statue with no clothes on. I have a feeling that Pan would too. If somebody's wanting to work with Pan, Pan would also like to be naked. I already know that my language is, I'm sorry, I'm really not child friendly. Apollo is wanting you to know that it is tits out, dicks out over there. He plays too much. Him and Mercury both play too much. They're fun to work with though. They're really fun to work with. Pan is a blast. Who doesn't want to work with Pan? Pan's going to get you to connect more to nature, and you probably need to play a musical instrument for Pan. Apollo wants to be adored. Somebody needs to spend more time in sunlight. That is a misconception that I don't like about, and you know, however you want to see it. Me personally, from my experience, from my study, Apollo is not a god of sunlight. Apollo is a god of light beams. So Helios is the god of sun, of the sun. Apollo is a god of the light, the sunbeams through the trees. When he was born on an island under a tree, there were sunbeams coming through the tree and like touching, him and his twin's face. It's like he is the like sunlight that hits you and you feel warmth. That is Apollo, and that is very much his personality. I think that's a big part of his personality and who he is. You can't work with Apollo and just not like have fun. He just really likes to have fun. He's really awesome. And then I love Pan. Pan is so funny. Pan and Cernunnos are kind of like cousins a little bit. A lot of people, when Cernunnos was really actively involved in He'll Come Back, he doesn't want to be on camera today. He has bigger fish to fry, is what he says. I don't need to talk about what's happening in here. There's a lot of spirits in here. There's a lot of spirit activity. There's a lot going on. I have a lot of new guides I'm working with. They're not really new. They've been here the whole time. They needed me to level up in life. They're gonna be, I'm trying to become a better reader. So I've really been studying while I've been gone. I've been studying. I've been trying to get to know my guides and connect them back to my ancestors. I've been really digging. I have been digging with the help of Uriel. Yes, Uriel is very helpful for expanding your knowledge, especially when it comes to like the root of things. He's a good channel. I was gonna say they say, he said I say. I hope that you guys can appreciate this sort of like reading, this sort of work, because this is what I want to do. This is what I have fun with. This is what made my readings really fun for me when I was first starting out, is how involved a handful of my guides were. And now that I am getting to know them and connecting with them, like studying about them, like getting to know their personalities, like really putting in like being my full-time job is working with my guides, honestly. And it's more than a job because it's a family, so it's like a full 24/7 thing. And I feel like it's more fun, especially if you connect with the guides that I'm channeling for you, and if you're interested in them, if you feel called to them. And I'm telling you, for some of you, Gabriel is saying he can put the fire out. So you started some sort of fire and you need help. Gabriel is saying that he will help you. Apollo is saying you need to take better care of me. So some of you are like trying to work with Apollo, or you've tried to summon Apollo in some way. He feels like you're not being respectful enough of him. He likes to be pampered. He does. It's who he is. Apollo is a jock. That is the like Apollo to me. Apollo is a jock, like golden retriever, but he also is really, really in touch with his feminine side. And it reminds me of, what's his name? Hansel from Zoolander. Like that's almost like Apollo energy. Like he's like really smart too. He's just like a really cool guy. He's a cool guy to know. This is Pisces. I hope that you know Apollo really likes Pisces. He really is connected to the ocean and to the islands. So he has a deep respect for Neptune. He has a deep respect for the Pisceans, the sirens. Apollo really likes the sirens too. So that's like your guys' kind of like energy when you trace it to its core is kind of like the siren, like Muddy Waters, both being a siren at times, but also like experiencing a siren in your life, because when you are something, it's mirrored back to you. So, and you know, the two fish, I hope you guys are able to get something out of this. It's a lot of channeling. I know sometimes when I do this, people get really mad and they tell me to stick to the cards. Honestly, I think those people are so stupid and so like conceited and like entitled. They're so entitled that it's like you're ruining this experience for the people that are actually enjoying it. Like noise has to work for you for free on like, you know, content creation site. You don't have to support me. You don't have to be here. It's weird. So anyways, I hope you guys can handle this. You enjoy it. And if not, you can unsubscribe. That's fine. I gotta do what makes me happy and what helps me to like actually get back to enjoying readings again, because for a while they were such a burden and I hated doing them and I felt like my privacy was getting violated a lot and I wasn't being respected. And so I have a really great team right now and they are taking care of me and they're making sure that I work. I feel them all. They're very close. We've been doing a lot around here, you know. We've been shaping up. They're mostly me. Anyways, I hope you can appreciate Apollo. He would like to work with you, especially if I feel like winter months. It's weird because a while ago I posted a TikTok talking about, and like, you know, no shade to this person, talking about how much I really do adore Apollo, and this person commented and was like, well, it's winter time where I am, so I'm like, we're not working with Apollo, basically. And I was like, you know, well, I'm my own person and I have my own relationship with Apollo, but thank you so much, you know. Thank you so much for that irrelevant comment, you know, that you should have kept to yourself. You can still, I mean, unless you are somewhere like, you know, Antarctica, the Arctic, where it's dark all the time and you don't experience daylight at all in the winter time, you would experience Apollo's energy at some point during the day if it was not cloudy, you know. And he also is very like, he's a sunny energy. This is turning into let's all but this is what he wants. This is what he's telling you. Look at him. This is what he wants, or he will unleash chaos. For some of you, you're trying to work with Pan and Apollo. They have beef. You can't work with Pan and Apollo. They have beef with each other. Why? Because Apollo didn't like that he was a better musician. I wasn't there. I can't form that. From what I hear, that was the general consensus in the myth. It's important to like actually get to know them before you throw them up on an altar. You know, you need to kind of get to know them, and some guys just don't work well with each other, so it'll feel like you're having like falling apart with one guide, but it's really because like another guide is coming in, or another guide is already in your altar room, that they don't get along very well, and you know, they've kind of chosen for you. And it's honestly, that can hurt sometimes when a guide is like, you know, this is the end of our ride. Especially I've done that with guides before, and for some of them it was not a very easy experience. It was kind of felt like a firing almost, you know. It was kind of like I don't know, it was emotional. I was emotional. I said some things I probably shouldn't have said. I did some things that I feel like she would understand. I feel like I was channeling her energy, so she would understand it, and she was like, if you're gonna do it, if you're not going to worship the gods and goddesses, then you don't really need to like bother them like that. It's kind of like, why? I don't understand people that get like statues of like Ganesh or Buddha or, a guide, and they put it up in their home like this is just going to bring them good luck. I mean, a talisman is different from like a god, a goddess, a demon, an entity, whatever spirit you're calling forth. It's a relationship, and if they're taking the time to travel to you, you should be a little bit more like, at least this is the analogy that they're providing for me. They're saying, okay, let's say that you are inviting like a new friend, a new, your friend's partner, whatever, somebody new is coming to your house for like a dinner party. And this person that is coming to your house, that's the guest of honor, they're vegetarian, and you made no vegetarian options, and it's not that, it's like everybody knew they were vegetarian and like you just didn't know. And because you were making a big deal about, oh, I'm going to have this person over to my house, and you can't even provide like them a meal like everybody else, It's kind of like that. So if you're going to be serious about it, be serious about it. And if you're not going to be serious about it, like, you don't have to be. That doesn't, in order to do magic, you do not have to like do deity work like that. You really don't. And if you are going to do it that way, you need to narrow down. Don't have like, you're working with a new guide every other day because somebody told you about that guide. Anyways, we're not even doing the reading. I'm gonna have to post this, and we're almost 20 minutes in, and we haven't read the cards whatsoever. They don't want me to use cards, is what it is. They don't want to use cards, and I know. Maybe I shouldn't use cards. One time, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to us right then. I won't do that again. Okay. You are climbing to an increase in status and like, money in your surroundings. So maybe that you're like going to get a promotion. Basically, you're getting a promotion. It's going to be a lucky promotion that leads you to being able to secure better for your surroundings. So I don't see that it's going to be enough money to like move or like buy a house, but this is going to be enough money to elevate like your style, like, the products that you're using. You might be using like discount a lot because you're trying to like save money for something. So there's going to be some sort of like transition in your life that elevates you to where that's not an issue anymore. So you can splurge, basically. You're moving into like your splurge, like, glow up era. This is going to be coming towards Taurus season. So it's springtime. We're really in like a time of like rest right now. It's not a time, it's so weird that we've made like New Year's such a big thing that like everybody feels like they need to start something new in the middle of winter. And I know a lot of people say that, but it's true. I mean, we're not even in the middle of winter. We're really kind of at the beginning of winter. I can't with these bangs, guys. I wish I could say the haha prank and pull it off, and they're not real bangs. I wish so. Oh my God. Maybe one day I'll do double bangs. And then I'll like act like I was wearing fake bangs the whole time, and then I'll take them off, and then I have real bangs. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is the guides that I'm working with right now. They are very silly and they're funny, and I hope that you can get some entertainment. I hope that this isn't like a terrible thing, and I know I'm apologizing a lot. I haven't been here in a while. It's been a while. I feel like we're like old friends catching up, and I have to catch you up on, what's been going on with me, and really tragically, it's been the bangs. Okay, I'm sorry. That was the last joke. I'm not going to make any more of those jokes. Okay. You need to ask for what you want from a perspective of what is going to fill you up, not necessarily give you the most attention. Some of you, it's like you want an increase in status so that you can get more bitches. You know, you want an increase in status so that you can look better to other people, and it's not something that would really suit your soul. You know, I get, because that's not really a healthy way to think about it. And if you think about the fact that your spirit guides are not like genies here to grant you 3 wishes, they are spirits that are coming to you to assist you and build a relationship with you and want to help you, and, you know, can kind of see things from a different perspective and enlighten you. I have no idea where I was going with that. What were we even talking about? I'm channeling a lot. I know it can be annoying for some people. It's just you don't like channeling, and that's fine. You don't have to watch a channeling. I'll eventually just stop using the cards, and then we won't call it tarot anymore. We'll just call it channeled message, okay? And then you won't get super confused and have to take that out on a random person on the internet that's staying up late when they have a lot of work to do. I hate that I have to, and Pisces. I was just talking to Patreon about this, is I don't want to seem ungrateful, you know? It's just like, there's a difference between like having gratitude for what you have and not letting people bully you. It's so weird the way that the internet has made it to where a lot of people feel comfortable just bullying strangers for no reason. Like, they will look for something to bully you on. I see this all the time on social media. There was this one guy, we won't talk about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This man tried to start a fight with me over a random TikTok. And I just commented something, like just a comment, you know? I commented a comment that was going through my brain at the time. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't directed towards anybody. It was just about this I mean, it was directed towards the person in the TikTok, but it wasn't like, I don't feel like it was a very offensive comment. It was just a thought. This man had to reply, and he waited, of course. He waited until like it got a few like 100 likes or whatever. He waited, and then he commented something, and I responded by letting him know that just because you personally feel that way doesn't mean that you speak for all men. You know that, right? Just like, there's no need for this. I don't want to have this interaction. Stop. His response was like, did you just assume my gender? And it's like, you assumed your gender in your first comment. Why are you trying to fight with me right now? Have you noticed that on social media? I feel like that's why a lot of people have been like deleting their social media, not wanting, I can't with the bangs. I'm so sorry. They're so irritating. The worst thing about them, I don't want to seem ungrateful for my bangs. I just can't style them right now because it's like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this way. This way is like a little scary. This way is giving like 80s. Apollo did this to me on purpose because he likes this. He likes the Farrah Fawcett. I'm like so certain that David Bowie had to have a special connection with Apollo because that energy is so apparent. He loves the feather hair, and it's because like I work so closely with Apollo, and this was a gradual process that like he wants me to channel his energy more and like look like him. And Mercury is in on it. I say Mercury, I mean Hermes. He's in on it. He's helping out. They're just like, this is Apollo. He said, don't you dare say that. And this is me. This is a more so like hee hee ha ha video for somebody that needs to connect more with their guides, really. That's really what it is. You connect with your, this is somebody who's spiritual. You connect with your guides, you connect with spirits, you know, you connect with however you worship. You do this from a place of wanting more material things. You keep asking for material things. And what you're not recognizing is that these material things are like not actually beneficial to you emotionally. They would actually make things a lot worse, because the things you're asking for is like, it's harmful. You would self-harm in order. That's how it's kind of sick, Pisces. You would self-harm in order. I mean, really think about it. I'm not trying to be offensive, but it's kind of sick to think about, really, honestly. And you know, a lot of people live this way. You would allow self-harm to make other people like you, to make other people think that you're good, that you're cool. For some of you, it's like you want status so bad. For some of you, it comes from your father. There's an issue here from your father in childhood where you felt like you had to take care of yourself in childhood, and you felt like you could never get your father's approval. For some of you, you had a dad that like never told you that they loved you, you know? And for some of you, your father, if he's still around, for some of you, he's passed, and I'm sorry for your loss. They're saying for a lot of you. Or this, you know, could be a grandfather that's passed. He was very he liked to be flashy. He worked really hard for his money, and he liked to show off his money. And that's kind of where his attention was directed. And I get that you had to, you had to really perform to get there. Oh, I know. Oh, this is why Paula wanted, you can be on camera. You can. I don't want to pull your pedestal over here. Here he is. I love you. We have a weird relationship. We're a little too close at this point. We're a little too close at this point. If you want to get on, if you want to be this, okay, I won't say that. I won't say that. Because then a lot of people are going to get the bangs. It's not funny anymore. It's over. You're too, for some of you, I'm not even showing you these cards. For some of you, you're too extreme with your views, and you try to push them on everybody. You need to work better on the way that you talk. You need to have more diplomatic speech. You need to have gentler words. You're a little too aggressive. And it makes people in your community combative with you because you're a little too aggressive, or they're reading you as aggressive. For some of you, I just get that you're passionate, and people aren't, you know, that they aren't seeing your passion. I feel you, Pisces. You're feisty. People don't know that about Pisces. I think a lot of people, and this might just be my personal experience because of my chart, I think a lot of people will read a Pisces kind of like a Cancer, and it's not the case. And I don't want to hear it about Cancers. I'm sorry. Every Cancer, like especially a Cancer Mars that I know, they talk shit and then they cry. And that's not true about every. I'm sure for some of you, it's like you might have a Cancer Mars, but you have like a lot of Aries in your chart. You know, I don't know your life. I'm saying my life experience. I think Cancers are mouthy. Don't shoot the messenger is what Hermes is saying. Don't shoot the messenger. They're mouthy, and I think they're quick to pop off. But Pisces are feisty, and they're feisty. You know, it's the difference between like Ariana Grande. I'm pretty sure she gives Cancer energy. I'm pretty sure she's a Cancer. Or Lana Del Rey is a Cancer. And Rihanna is a Pisces. You see the different energy. Like Rihanna would beat your ass. Lana Del Rey might throw a drink in your face, but she's going to cry about it later. You know, she's going to get really drunk and cry about it later. It's the difference. And I don't think that people read that about Pisces until they cross the line, because Pisces are so like loving and empathetic is really the thing, is you can read into other people's emotions, and you can empathize with other people, and you want to help them. You want to, at the very least, like, Pisces are mutable signs, so they have the ability to kind of blend in with different crowds, kind of seem like different people at sometimes. It's the same with, like, a Gemini. Excuse me. People have underestimated you. They've underestimated your, it's like they see you as soft. They don't see you for your true self. They see you as somebody that's soft. And so it's like, they misread your passion, or you're standing up for yourself as you being like aggressive, or you not bowing to their authority is really what it is. I feel like for some of you guys, there are people, because Saturn is really heavy here, you have people in your life that feel like you need to bow down to their authority, and they don't understand that you have your own authority, They underestimate you. I get it. I'm in the trenches with you, Pisces. I truly am. Some of you here, I get that, again, the sun is here. So you have a sun god. For some of you, it's a sun goddess. There are a few that has been calling to you because they want to fill you up. It's being poured into the crown. You see? They want to cleanse you. You have some overactive energy in your crown chakra for some of you. Now, Pisces, typically an imbalance from what I've seen is either you've overdone it with substances, awakening, but you are in to say, I don't want to say that to anybody, but I'm getting for some of you, this not for everybody, obviously, maybe even one of you, somebody, you need to cleanse yourself the way, and it is clouding up their crown, so they're not best for their evolution. You are slipping into a darker line, and it's normal, and you do it sometimes. The thing is you just want to be aware of when you're doing it and start to recognize when, especially when you start to fall into vice. A year ago, a client that I was working with asked me, I cleanse myself, like, how do I not have to do spell work constantly to cleanse myself? Like, I don't want to have to cleanse myself every day. You do need to have some sort of spiritual hygiene. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're, taking a spirit in the spiritual game. You need to have some sort of rituals to cleanse yourself. And, if you are doing spiritual work, if you did a ritual that day, you should not be going to sleep, going to bed without cleansing, without bathing at the very least. You need to take that off. And that's as simple as salt water, It's as simple as get a spiritual bath. I sell spiritual baths if you're interested on my website. It's not that hard, and it's not something that you have to do every day. But if you've done a ritual that day, if you've had a really hard day, if you've had a really emotional day, if you've had an ego death, there are certain things that can blow open your crown chakra. If you've had a very kind of crazy psychedelic experience, it's psychological as well. I mean, obviously see a doctor, I'm not giving you doctor advice, clinical advice. I'm not qualified to do that. I'm not going to do that. Don't suffer in silence, is what they're saying. There are ways to fix this. If you are, having trouble sleeping, if you having, some darkness manifesting, if you're struggling a little bit and you feel dark, you feel heavy, you can cleanse. And one way to do it without having to do all the rituals to cleanse yourself, if you pray about it and ask if there is a god or goddess that wants to show you how, that wants to work with you on this one specific thing, and this is their task with you, because that's a lot to ask of somebody. You would have to take very good care of that guide. And then you would need to have some special ritual with that guide, that they would cleanse you. especially for some of you, you need to be doing this like either on the full moon or when you're menstruating. There's a certain time that you feel called to cleanse more. This guide would do it for you. They would cleanse you every day. It would be like a little handshake you two do, and then you would be light and breezy. But that would take you to pay attention, to ask with sincerity, with good intention, and be serious. Listen, pay attention to, the signs that are guiding you. And sometimes they're little and sometimes they're big. You have to pay attention though. Some of you, it's like your guides literally give you billboards that say exactly what you are asking and you still question it. They're like, what do you want from us? We gave you the answer. You're too lazy to look it up. If something feels significant, look it up and see if it's a deity. A lot of plants, animals, herbs are plants. Days of the week, colors, numbers, astrological, there are a lot of sun gods, there are a lot of moon gods, If you're seeing the moon everywhere and you feel called to the moon and you feel like the moon is special to you, maybe look and see if there's a moon god or goddess that you resonate with, or that's especially best if it's connected to your ancestry. That's where you need to start, is your ancestry. I have some people that it's like will ask me how they can identify their guides specifically, like I'm just supposed to give them a list of their guides. Crazy. That's a crazy thing. And if somebody is offering to do that, they would have to be very, very legit. And that would be an expensive service. That wouldn't be like you pay me something online. That would be like a serious ritual. I mean, it could be done technically, not for free, not like, oh, let me just tell you who's around you. Like, if they can do that, they should be charging a lot of money. Anyways, if you can do that, you should be charging a lot of money for that, because people annoy me with it. I'm not into that. You have to do some research. I can only tell you so much. Sometimes I do readings and I have a lot of guides coming out. Sometimes I do readings. I cannot tell you who this is. I don't know any of your guides. I don't feel who they could possibly be. No idea. And some guides mask. Some ancestors mask. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be acknowledged. They just want to be there and to help. They don't need the big displays. That felt like a attack a little bit. Just because some of us like to play with glitter and some of us, it's not important. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to imply. This is why it takes me so long to do a reading. There's some indecision here and you feel like pressured because the time is ticking and you're like sad. You can do both. You just have to know how to, they're saying you can't do both. You can't do both. I feel like this is, you can do both. You just have to know how to juggle it, and you have to, can I say what I feel that it is? That's what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. Juggling. They're saying you need to focus on building your foundation right now. You need to focus on building your foundation and getting it together, getting your shit together. Okay, that's number one. Your shit is not together. You don't need to be up here in the clouds worrying about this decision, that decision. Time is not of the essence. It is of the essence, but it's time of the essence. Time is of the essence. It's time to clean. You need to clean. You need to organize. You need to get your stuff together. You need to budget. You need to figure out what you want to do with your life. Why are you bothering your guides if you have no idea what you're doing with your life? Like, you don't have to, that should not be step one. You cannot do that. That is when you end up in psychosis. You will be in your upper chakra, and some of you are doing this. It's like you're losing touch with reality at times. It's because you're not grounding yourself. You know how you ground yourself? You take care of your house, you pay your bills, you have a roof over your head, we're not going to talk about that. You are connecting with nature. You're in the now. Some of you are too far in the like spiritual. The thing is about your spirit guides is they've been there. They're going to be there. They're not going anywhere. And if one is coming into your life temporarily and then is going to leave, they would make their presence known if they wanted their presence to be known. If they're not making their presence known, you really should be focused on other things. It's not, I don't know why it feels like it's like some sort of like Pokemon. That's how I feel people act with like their guides sometimes. It's like, if you cannot take care of one guide, you do not need 30. I've talked about that a lot. I talked about at the beginning of my journey that I only knew 3, and it was because Anubis was really stern about, I am not allowing anyone else to come forward until you show me and you prove to me that you honor everyone that you have out here. And if you are not honoring us and what we ask for, and you can't show favoritism unless that is your relationship and the other guys have agreed to that. It's like a council. It really is. Like, I can't decide that I am going to, and some guys will egg you on. Oshun will egg you on. Oshun will get up. She will. Oshun, if you allow her into your space, she is wonderful, and she's wonderful when it comes to like owning. She's wonderful when it comes to owning your sexuality and owning your feminine nature. But she is a Venusian guide, and a lot of the Venusian guides are jealous, and they have to be pampered. You cannot put Aphrodite out and just like never, just put her on a shelf and not clean her, not tend to her, not offer to her. You can't do that. But some guides they like water, they want, some of my guides like a beer. I just put a beer on their altar. One of my guides likes cookies. There's another guide that when he feels like being funny, likes to ask for cotton candy. He loves cotton candy. It's usually when we're like fighting a little bit, but I think that sometimes when we're like disagreeing, you can disagree with your guides. Especially your guides disagree with each other. It's different personalities, it's different energies. Especially when a guide makes a decision for you that you did not want them. You didn't like the way that they handled that. And it's okay. I mean, you should not. You have to be grateful. You have to be respectful. But it's a relationship. I can let this guide know, or just kind of step back. Like, I'm frustrated with our connection right now, and I don't want to engage with it. You're frustrating me. I don't like the way that you're approaching me. I want to do other things right now. And sometimes the answer is no, but a lot of times, usually they're respectful of you and where you are, but you just have to be aware that sometimes, and it depends, there's a lot that goes into it, guys. It's just a relationship. Think of them as like your family. You have different relationships that are good and bad, go through hard times. Sometimes, it's time to end the relationship. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, like my relationship with my guides, I have some guides that, with my guides specifically, they allow me the freedom, and that's what we've had to set place with each other, agreements that I have the freedom to connect with who I feel called to connect with. They have the freedom to say no. They have the freedom to say, I don't want to work with you right now. You need to focus on other things. They have the freedom to say, I don't even want to be in an altar right now. You need to focus on other things. We don't need to work together. I don't like this figure you got for me, so put it away. And when you have the time and energy to get me something nice, then we'll talk. They have their minds of their own. They're not here to grant your wishes. So anyways, this has been a long speech about working with guides apparently. But yeah, I can work more with Apollo and have a relationship with Apollo because Apollo has asked that of me, and I have met those qualifications, and he's helping me with what I need to be helped with. But if he were to say, and he has said that, you know, I'm gonna be taking, you know, some time off. You're gonna be working with this person. One, you should have a relationship with your guides like that. And if you don't, if you can't, if it feels, you know, like you can't, don't force it. Recognize that sometimes, and I've talked to my Patreon people about this. Sometimes you have to just take a step back. And if you won't take a step back, your guides will take a step back. They will. You know, it's that Christian story that you always see. Like, I feel like this was really, really popular in the like 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. That like that thing that's like where you're walking across the beach with Jesus, and you recognize that like during the hardest times in your life there was only one set of footprints instead of two, and you ask Jesus, why during my hardest time was I walking alone? And Jesus says, my son, I was carrying you. For real though, you know. They would like to say, I'm not going to say who it is. Someone would like to chime in before we say goodbye is, what was it? Thank your local spirit guide. Thank your local spirit guide. Okay, I'm going to go. Bye, guys.